Okay, setting up proper motivation. Refuge field. Visualize the Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the space in front of you. As so loving, caring, and embracing. And Bodhicitta field, your two parents, your children, and all your family members, and all dear mother sentient beings, living aside, human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, hell beings, god and goddesses, spirits, and particularly the difficult people around you. And here you are so loving to them, caring, embracing, to the extent that each one of them could feel your love and affection that they feel themselves, especially in your eyes. And the purpose of our being together here for this practice is to awaken the Buddha nature within us, the seed of perfection that exists in each one of us. And that incredibly precious seed, the seed of perfection, is mixed with the soil, mixed with the mud. And our job is to all this practice, lifelong practice, studies, reflection, meditation, they are to cleanse, separate this Buddha nature from the mental defilements. And imagining that all your dear mother sentient beings, they are joining you in this practice, and you are leading this. And with this, we will do the recitation in English from page 3. And teach by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And teach by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And teach by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Sanje juda zoge jo namla chanju bardo dane nyamzu je dage jinso jebe sonamye tola benjire sanje dubare jo sanje juda zoge jo namla chanju bardo dane nyamzu je dage jinso jebe sonamye tola benjire sanje dubare jo Sanje joda zoge jonam no chanju bardo dane yabzu je dage jinso gebe sonam ye joda benjere sanje dubare sho. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations for practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations for practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations for practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the Supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all lead hearers seeking pacific complete peace, who through the knowledge of paths cause those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience help subdue and expand the varieties of teachings. Okay, today I'm going to explain this verse. This verse is very important, and this verse is the word of salutation. Word of salutation to the three mothers. The salutation made by Arimathea, and the objects of salutation to whom the salutation is made, the three mothers. And the three mothers, they are not the literal mothers, they are the three qualities. The three qualities known as the Lord of the basis, Lord of the paths, and the omniscient mind. The noble of all aspects referred to as omniscient mind. No, the nor the basis. Okay, let me repeat it. The three mothers: nor the basis, nor the paths, and nor the all aspects. Meaning the Buddha's mind, omniscience. Three. And this is extremely very comprehensive. This forms the synopsis, this summary synopsis of the whole body of the text, which is ornament of clear realization. In Tibetan, it is Ngondogyen, ornament of clear realization. And so then, what is taught is that we see that there are three categories of beings who like to attain lasting benefit. And who are these three beings? The Shravakas and Pradik Buddhas together as one. Shravakas and Pradik Buddhas as one. Then the Bodhisattvas, number 2, and the Buddhas, number 3. These are the three. There are so many ways of classification, but this is one way of classifying. Shravakas and Pradik Buddhas who seek personal liberation, one group. Then the Bodhisattvas, group 2, and the Buddhas, group 3. There are three beings. So these three beings, they have three aspirations. Their own respective aspirations, which means three aspirations. And the Shravakas and Pratik Buddhas who seek personal liberation, what their aspiration is to attain total freedom for yourself. Total freedom of the peace from samsara. This is what they are saying. This is their goal. And for the Bodhisattvas, their goal is to benefit the sentient beings, but show the path to the sentient beings according to their propensities, according to their aspirations. Let me repeat it. This is going to be a little confusing with the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas. Bodhisattvas, but they primarily, what they wish is to guide the beings to their respective goals. Then the Buddhas, the aspiration is to turn the wheel of Dharma, to give the teachings, turn the wheel of Dharma. And of course, these two overlap, and to a great extent, we see that these two are the same. Okay, but first we have to know that there are three beings, there are three goals. The three beings are Pratik Buddhas, Shravakas and Pratik Buddhas who seek personal liberation, number 1. Bodhisattvas, number 2. Number 2, Bodhisattvas. Number 3, Buddhas. There are three beings there. And there are three goals that they aspire. Shravakas and Pratik Buddhas, they aspire personal liberation or freedom from samsara, absolute freedom from samsara. Bodhisattvas, their primary goal is to guide the different beings to their respective aspirations, and the Buddhas to turn the wheel of Dharma. Then so we have the three beings and their three aspirations. Now, on the three beings, how they are going to be, for example, say a child. Each one of us, we are brought into this world by your parents, mother giving birth to you. So likewise, say each of these beings, they are brought to their respective goals by their mothers, meaning that they're brought to this result, just as the mother giving birth to a child, these goals are given birth to them through the three mental qualities, like referred to as the three mothers. So for the Pratik Buddhas and Shravakas, the quality is all the mental quality which gives them the result of the freedom from samsara, absolute peace. That is known as the Nor-the basis. Nor-the basis, or Nor of all. Knower of all. In Tibetan is Kunshe or Shishe. Number 1 is Shishe, Kunshe, Shishe. Knower of all. For the Bodhisattvas, what is the mental quality which makes them to accomplish the aspiration to guide all the beings to the respective goals is known as the knower of the paths. Knower of the path. In Americans would say path. Knower of the path or knower of the paths. Then for the Buddhas, the mental quality that makes them to accomplish this task of give the teaching so effectively is the omniscient mind. And technically, in English, it can be translated that in Tibetan it is the Namkhen, the knower of all aspects. Knower of all aspects is omniscient mind. So we see that the Arya Maitreya prostrates to these three mothers, these three mental qualities which make these three beings to accomplish the three goals. Okay, so from this, if you know the three beings are there who have three different aspirations, three goals, and what made these three beings to accomplish these three goals are referred to as the three mothers. Just as mother gives rise to the result, mother gives rise to the child, each of these qualities, they give rise to their respective aspirations, fulfilled aspirations. Okay, so three mothers. What are the three mothers? The knower of the basis, the knower of the paths, and the knower of all aspects. Knower of the basis in the case of Shravakas and Pradika Buddhas, knower of the paths in the case of the Bodhisattvas, the knower of all aspects of the omniscience in the case of the Buddhas. Okay, this is very important. So when we recite this, if you can think of these, then you see that, oh, look at all these, all the prostrations and so forth and praises are all made to the mental qualities. Not that, oh, this person could fly, has medical power. No. All prostrations are made to the mental qualities, which means that, in other words, we're inspired to cultivate the mental qualities, not think of, the external, the qualities, more the mental qualities. So all these, for example, Arya Nagarjuna praises Buddha always for compassion and wisdom. Compassion and wisdom. Again, it's mental qualities. So this is to tell us that I need to focus on cultivating my mental qualities. So this is one which can actually make you to experience the infinite happiness and fearlessness and to achieve your Buddhahood for all beings. Okay, let's now read this. Okay, first up, let me quickly look at the words. Word to word, I will see. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers. Hearers meaning Shravakas. Explicitly, Shravakas indicated. Implicitly, Pradika Buddhas are indicated. These two are combined together. Then number two, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas. So the three beings are indicated. Who, through the knowledge of who, means the first one, the hearers, personal liberation seekers. The first, the hearers, and the Pradika Buddhas, through the knowledge of all. Knowledge of all is knower of all. Knower of the basis, knower of the all, these two are the same. Sometimes referred to as knower of all, sometimes referred to as knower of the basis. Knowledge of all, knower of the all, these two are the same. Knower of the all, or knower of the basis, lead hearers. Hearers meaning the Shravakas and Pradika Buddhas, who seek, the goal is indicated here, who seek pacification to complete peace. That is what they are seeking. Then who, number two, who refers to the Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas, through the knowledge of paths, or the knower of the paths, is a mental quality. Knower of the paths. This helped the Bodhisattvas cause those helping migrators, the Bodhisattvas who wants to help the migrators mean sentient beings, want to help the sentient beings to achieve the aims of the world, to achieve the world meaning the different world, the different people, the different beings, to help them achieve the aims, to show them the path to achieve the aims. And who, number three, who refers to Buddhas. Buddhas, through the possession of omniscience. The omniscience is the knower of all aspects. Omniscience, omniscient mind. Omniscient mind help subduers. Subduers meaning the Buddhas. Buddhas expound a variety of teachings, help to give the teachings to all the beings. Okay, so from this we see that three beings are there, three goals are there, which each of these three beings aspire, and then the three mothers which help them to accomplish their respective goals. Okay, we'll read this together, and as you read this, then you will understand what the meaning is reflected within you. Okay. Okay, just for because that, but I don't think many of us will get opportunity to study this main text, the ornament of clear realization. Undogen, study Undogen. Very good. Okay, is there anybody who take this like
the basic program?
Yeah,
basic program? Very good. Yeah. Ah. 4 chapters. 4th chapter. Okay. Okay. This text is extremely important in the big monastic universities. Big monastic universities like Sarah, they spent just for this text. They study for like 7-8 years. Just this text. And then, so this is so precious. And just to give you a clue, that these mental qualities, the 3 mental qualities referred to as the 3 mothers, they are what is being praised here, or the Arimatria mid frustrations. So this book, this text, is not actually a huge text, but it's so condensed text. One word. Dubdang. Dubdang means practice. So this word, in it, it talks about the 2 truths. 2 truths, and the 2 truths. They say in the monastic universities they study for like 4 or 5 months. In fact, like 6-7 months. Just this one word from this, although it seems to be short text, is so condensed. So to give you just a clue of this text, so that we will be connected with this in the future lifetimes, that we can study more, and then if you get opportunity, it will be good to study this. If you get opportunity, in Tibet House, we just finished this text, the complete text, recently. In English, and it's extremely precious, so precious, and it'll give you almost all the details of the Bodhisattva path. It's so precious. Okay, it has 8 chapters. The first 3 chapters are dedicated to each of the 3 mothers. Then the next 4 chapters are dedicated to the trainings related to cultivating these 3 mothers. The first, the 3 mothers, nor of the basis, nor of the parts, nor of the all aspects. And then how to cultivate these 3, the 4 trainings are taught. And then the last chapter, chapter 8, is about the resultant state. By practicing these 4 trainings, how you cultivate the three mothers, and on the basis of which you achieve the resultant state, which is the omniscient. Then explains what is omniscient, what is the Buddhakayas, the two bodies of the Buddha, the 3 bodies of the Buddha, 5 bodies of the Buddha, the 4 bodies of the Buddha, 5 bodies of the Buddha. All the details of the Buddha bodies are explained there in chapter 8. So this very comprehensive text, and where you get the opportunity, you must study this. And the Kalachakra Center, you do.
Basic program.
No, you.
Basic program, we do chapter 4. And
Okay.
in master program, they do the whole
Remaining.
text.
Okay. So the Kalachakra Center also has the basic program, and those of you in the Paris, Kalachakra is right there, right? So I would say that not to miss the opportunity to study this. Okay, good. I will say this together now. Now you read it, you will understand something. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all lead hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, who through the knowledge of paths cause those hellbound migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience help subdue us expand the varieties of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugadhan, protector to you among prostrations, the one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines for the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I journey the mode of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. So, since that we already explained this mantra several times, try your best to recall the meanings of each of the words, and then in the form of the complete mantra, the meaning should be reflected, and particularly how the causes of the suffering. Try to remember these causes and how the causes can be undone. And finally, of course, first by removing the 10 non-virtuous actions, then removing the involuntary pull and push afflictions, then seeing the relativity of things to remove the inappropriate tension, and then finally to see the emptiness nature, that everything is like a dream, all seen as projection of your own mind, to remove the self-grasping ignorance. Okay. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Meaning of the mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of causes as well as taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-light, non-composite. Such is the nectar-light dharma I have discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, in silence I'll return to the words. Beyond our trends, thought and expression is perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. Is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas, of the 3 times of your obeisance. 4 seals of Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. The transcending soul is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha, the Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings from miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of the suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries glow. Instructions of parting from the 4 attachments. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Okay, page 14. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the 4 destroyer, completely perfected, full awakened being, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, Lord of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the complete and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O Supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced our 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With the pure body's form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you are prostrate. With the supreme science face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you are prostrate. Dusty like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparable wise one, to you are prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, filled of merit with qualities like vast ocean, to you the Tathagata prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies and prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the wholly feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly, this is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through this merits may sentient beings attain the rank of false seeing, subdue the 4 faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. On page 29, English, Heart Sutra. The Perfection Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the irretrievable gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Buddha was dwelling on the mass of Vulture's mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration of the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravilokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as and of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravilokiteshvara. How should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound professional wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravilokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra. Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound professional wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness not other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no eye element, and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation of the path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the 3 times also manifest the complete awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of the great knowledge, unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared, Teya tha om gade gade bara sam gade bodhi swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound professional wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from that concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravilokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound professional wisdom just as you've indicated, even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha, having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravilokiteshvara, those surrounding the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised as spoken by the Buddha. Te Om gade gade para gade para sam gade bodhi swatyata om gade gade para gade para sam gade bodhi swatyata om gade gade para gade para sam gade bodhi swatyata om gade gade para gade para sam gade bodhi swatyata om gade gade para gade para sam gade bodhi swatyata om gade gade para gade para sam gade bodhi swatyata om gade gade para gade para sam gade bodhi swaha. By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing the power of the truth, may inner and outer hindrance be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Okay, 7th Puja, page 37, in English. Oh, sorry. 8 verse 1 training, page 35. It was my training by Geshe Thamba with the determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds may I probe into my mind as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise. As I endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are ready to find as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When others, someone whom I have helped or in whom I place great hopes, mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard them still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my true collections, vast the space that I have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds are blinded by ignorance. Page 37, 7th Puja. So this is taken from the King of Prayers, the extraordinary expression of the practice of Samadhi Patra. I bow down to the Uttara Manjushri, and you, the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions. To all of you with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down, with the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world. To all you Buddhas who visualize as real, I bow down. On every atom, on every particle are Buddhas numberless as atoms. Each of them is a host of Bodhisattvas, and I'm confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with the Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans of praise for you and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sagadas. Beautiful flowers and regal gardens, sweet music and scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense offered to victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings in spectacular array offered to you victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all the victorious ones. Every harmful action I've done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and confusion, all this I openly lay bare before you. I lift my heart and rejoice in all the merits of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers here still training and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening. All you who are my guides, please turn the supreme wheel of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for aeons numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offering and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. Okay, short mantra offering. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. O Sajabege Joje Mendo Tam The 4 Dharmas of Venerable Gambupa. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practices on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The 4 Dharmas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva. Becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps the true existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as vicious and repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Rana Mendelagam Niradeyame. Next page, 42, the foundation of all good qualities. By Lama Tsongkhapa. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of power. by clearly seeing this and applying great effort. Please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once. It's greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of the virtues and non-virtues come or follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me to always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity, and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them to draw to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate the strong wish for the bliss of liberation. That by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great question arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so fall Mother my created beings. Please bless me to see this, train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility to free my greater beings. Even if I have developed bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I have pacified distractions from wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of karma abiding special inside. Having become a pure vessel by training the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it with long lives, please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, I enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages of the paths, I could attain the state of Vajradhara. Okay, mix of mantra. First we'll recite the English or the French, followed by the Tibetan. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hordes of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages' land of snows, Lobsang at your feet I make prostrations. yen ke be zu ye zo ka ba lo san ta be sham la so Okay, next is renunciation, which we do on the basis of the 4 seals. Ready? Unlike the first meditation, the remaining 3 meditations are all analytical. So it's going to be guided, and just see how much you can flow with the instructions, and as much as possible invoke the experience. Okay, ready? Renunciation. Renunciation, the meaning is to renounce the miseries. To renounce miseries, we need to know how to renounce the causes of the miseries. And the causes of miseries, the Buddha identified as, of course, there are many causes: karma, karmas, afflictions, inevitable tension, self-grasping, ignorance. And Buddha identified in terms of the root, the 4 misconceptions. Misconceiving impermanent phenomena as permanent, misconceiving suffering nature as happiness, misconceiving impure things as pure, misconceiving selfless nature as of selfhood nature. So our job is to get rid of these 4 misconceptions by introducing the 4 wisdoms. The first, the Buddha taught all composite things impermanent. And this impermanence has 2 levels, gross and subtle. It's so important for us to meditate, reflect on the gross impermanence, where we see the discontinuation of the continuum of phenomena, like your youth, and likewise the beautiful sunset that you see, the merriments, the joys that you had in the past, they're all gone. And in fact, to make it very quick, that 200 years ago, 150 years ago, 300 years ago, once, for example, in France, there were all the French Revolution, everything happened. And where those people were involved with these events, where there not even a single person left today, they're all gone. And the perpetrators, the victims, all are gone. This is reality. Likewise, today, here in Kalachakra Center, we come together and do some Dharma practice to generate bodhicitta, to benefit all the other sentient beings. But we also can imagine that there's people who are fighting for powers, for money, and so forth. And some children, there's so much hope in terms of their aims, careers, and so forth. And parents have the expectations on their children. So this is what it is today. But 200 years later from now, these will all become memories. Not even a single person out of the 8 billion human beings will be left then. That's reality. The whole world, with respect to today, what is today, 200 years later, is going to be just like a haunted place where none of the person today survives. It's a whole different people. Again, after 200 years, again the whole different generation comes. This impermanence, and this impermanence connotes, and they connotes a change happening within. The change that you see in 20 years, 30 years time is without the changes that you see on the yearly basis, monthly basis, weekly basis, daily basis, hourly basis, minute by minute basis, second basis, millisecond basis, nanosecond basis. These cross changes are not possible. So we see that, in other words, all these, the changes that you see on the gross level, they should necessarily They go through this process only by the involvement of the subtle impermanence. What is subtle impermanence? Even on a cursory form, you want to know what it is, you press the timer of your mobile, stoppage of the mobile. Sometimes we have to do that to see it. Seeing is believing. Seeing is a great source of the belief that you get, confidence that you get. We see that actually, in reality, our body, our mind, the whole world that we live in, your parents, everything, your children, they move so fast. Once somebody who has such a beautiful body, complexion, and so forth becomes so old, haggard, and the beautiful flower once withers and droops. This is the reality of impermanence. And from this we see that all composite things should necessarily go through such a fast moving transitoriness, impermanence. Reflect on this. For sure you will get a sense of fear. Just imagine you're thrown in a very fast moving train. What's your mental reaction? Of course, so much of fear. Why fear? Faster the train moves, more the fear, because you don't know where this train is taking you. And who decides where this train takes you? The train of your body, train of your mind, train of your fast-moving train of the whole world. Who decides where this train is taking you? That's decided by the driver. And if the driver is your mother, is your father, no doubt will take you to a picnic spot. But if the driver is either demon or under the dictate of the demons, under the dictate of the terrorists, no doubt will take you only to the slaughterhouse. In our case, what is the driver? Our own mind is the driver. And mind is unfortunately under the dictate of the worst of the contaminations. Self-grasping ignorance, which creates a dream. The moment you create the dream, then everything happening in the dream affects you. One who creates the dream is the final culprit. In our case, the self-grasping ignorance, which projects all these things. And that makes you to believe in them to be real. And this self-grasping ignorance, when supported, this contamination in the form of self-grasping ignorance, when complemented by the self-centered attitude, gives rise to its offshoots, such as inappropriate attention, the gross afflictions such as attachment, anger, jealousy, and so forth, and then giving rise to the contaminated karmas, such as the 10 non-virtuous karmas. And results ensue. This is the meaning of all contaminated things are suffering nature. Suffering like what? Sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, the fear of COVID-19 and so forth. And one moment of such a tragedy, such a tragic suffering is good enough to nullify all the past memories of the merriments, festivities, birthday parties, celebrations, anniversaries and so forth. Everything turns out to be so gloomy, shallow, meaningless. One moment of suffering is good enough to make these things seem gloomy. Yes, that's true, I agree. When will these miseries stop? 2020, your youth, they all stopped on their own. When will these miseries stop? They will never stop on their own till you put concerted effort. What kind of effort is required? These miseries are rooted to ignorance. Adi Nagarjuna said, ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from the conceptualization of inappropriate attention. And this conceptualization in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. And this elaboration ceases through the wisdom of emptiness. What is this elaboration? Self-grasping ignorance. We have to get rid of the root of all the miseries, self-grasping ignorance. How to get rid of this ignorance? By introducing a counterforce, which is the wisdom of emptiness. What is this wisdom? Wisdom, by the very definition, is a discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with reality. What's the reality? The reality is the third seal, which the Buddha indicated as everything is the nature of emptiness, selflessness. Everything is just a projection of your mind. You wake up, you realize that the dream is just projection of your mind, your fear dissolves. We have to know the reality that everything is just projection of one's own mind. How can I know that? Okay, let's meditate on the emptiness. It's going to be guided. What are you doing? I'm meditating. And what about your body? My body is a meditative posture. How does this person who you identified as the self appear? How does it appear? Like a dream that your mind is projected by the dreaming mind, or a so solid real object there, nothing to do with the mind. Of course, so solidly there, so objectified, solidified there. And believing in this is the self-grasping ignorance. This is the ignorance to be eradicated. How do you know that this self does not exist as object real? How do you know that viewing this self as object real is ignorance? How do you know this? Okay. To know this, let us remember what Arinagarjuna said. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? Likewise, if this self would exist objectively, why don't I see this self as I go closer to this object? Okay, now let us go closer to this object to see if the self does exist from the object. This mind which goes closer to this object is known as ultimate analysis. Why? Something existing objectively, something existing ultimately, these two mean the same. So you go closer to the object, you're going closer to the ultimate. So this mind which goes closer to the ultimate is known as ultimate analysis. Okay, now let us subject itself to this ultimate analysis by going closer to the object. Before we go closer to the object, this self, we see the self so self-sustaining, the self-embodied, self-sustaining, the entity. Now going closer to the object by employing this ultimate analysis, let us just ignore anything which is not the self, because we are interested in the objectively existing self as self-existence from the object, from the ultimate. Going there, we see that first we see a very thin layer of the skin. Behind that, the fatty tissues. Behind that, the muscles, cartilages, bones, the whole skeleton, the heart, the lungs, the brain, the pancreas, gallbladder, the stomach, intestines. None of these, all these constitute the element of earth, the solid parts, element of the earth. None of the element of earth is this intrinsically, this self, or to be identified as objectively identified as the self. Okay, so if none of these six elements, element of earth, then go to the element of water. 4 liters of blood which is pumped in and out by the heart to different parts of the body. Of course, that is not the self. That is not to be identified as objectively as the self. Next element of fire, the body heat. Of course, that is not the self. The air that we breathe in and out through the lungs, 4.6 liters of air. Even the element of air is also not the self. Element of space. I'm a solid person. This space is vacuum in nature. Even that is also not the self. Element of consciousness. People can see me. People cannot see my consciousness. And I'm a male, I'm a female. My mind does not have a gender. Gender is posited on the basis of the body. So now, what you've seen is the 6 elements. Which of the 6 elements is to be identified as the object of the self? None. So if the 6 elements are not to be identified as intrinsically one with the self, then see if the self exists or intrinsically as different from the 6 elements. Remove the 6 elements from your mind. What is left now? Nothing is left there. Okay, so here we see that there are only 2 options. If the self does exist from the object, when subjecting the self to ultimate analysis, we should be able to see the self And on the contrary, we see the 6 elements, and none of the 6 elements to be identified as intrinsically one with the self, nor the self is to be identified as intrinsically different from the 6 elements. So where is this self from the object now? Nothing is to be identified as the self from the object. Stay in this experience, in this non-affirming negative. Okay, this amazing experience. So just as this self-dissolve in the experience of the ultimate analysis, in this experience of emptiness, the self dissolves. Likewise, all our sorrows, including the fear of COVID-19, including the fear of losing near and dear ones, including fear of your life, fear of losing your life, all these experiences of pain, if you subject them to the same ultimate analysis, we see that they're all delusive. They all dissolve the experience of emptiness. Just imagine that you, upon the experience of emptiness of this sorrow, the sorrow dissolves. The moment the sorrow dissolves, you instantly feel the ultimate peace. This is what the Buddha indicated as the 4th seal. Transcending sorrow is absolute peace. Aspiring to experience this emptiness, where all your sorrows dissolve, is the renunciation, is the most fine understanding of renunciation. Aspiring to achieve that experience of the emptiness where all the sorrows dissolve, where the self-grasping ignorance stops projecting things. Okay, just generate this feeling. May I experience this emptiness where all the projections by self-grasping ignorance dissolve, that all the sorrows dissolve, that experience the infinite, the ultimate peace. Okay, slowly come out of this meditation before we proceed to the bodhicitta practice. Okay, ready? Okay, for the bodhicitta practice, when you're by yourself, you can do that on the basis of one of the 2 methods or both methods. And whereas in group, if it is specifically the bodhicitta retreat, then we do on we use one of these 2 methods, but here we'll do the 4 immeasurables and then conclude with the bodhicitta aspiration. Ready? And I already gave the warning yesterday and the days before as well. So here, some of you may feel that what I'm doing is so superficial. Yes, many people reported the same thing to me since many years ago. Don't worry. This is how we begin with the superficiality. We start superficially, and then eventually it becomes real. So this is the meaning of the practice. Okay. Self as immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings, okay, you don't have to say this verbally, just mentally feel this, mentally say this, mentally feel this. Whereas when you're doing on your own, then you can say this verbally, that will be very powerful. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The causes of happiness primarily consist of the wisdom of emptiness and the unconditional love of bodhicitta. May all my dear Mother Sentient beings, be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, like the mother after all these many years of raising her children, today, the eldest daughter, eldest son, just aged 12 and age 11, they come to the mother, telling, Mother, please take rest. You have done everything for us. You have been so kind, so loving. Now we have grown up, we'll take care of all the siblings. And the mother could not believe her eyes and ears after all these many years of hardships that she went through. Now the eldest daughter, eldest son, with a great sense of responsibility, they take the courage to take the responsibility over the other siblings. The mother could not believe her eyes and ears with tears. This is exactly what is happening to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. They are so happy and proud of you to see that you are making such a courageous commitment to take the responsibility of all the dear Mother Sentient beings on your shoulder to give them the happiness and the cause of happiness. This pride and happiness the Buddhist Bodhisattvas feel invoke the compassionate omniscient minds within them to send forth nectars of soothing lights towards you and all dear Mother Sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies of beings of yours instills in all happiness and the cause of happiness within you and all dear Mother Sentient beings. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all of dear Mother Sentient beings. You are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Next, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. Causes of suffering primarily consist of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude, giving rise to the offshoots in the form of inappropriate tension, gross afflictions, and the contaminant karmas. May all my dear Mother Sentient beings be freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you make such a courageous commitment, they're intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassionate omniscient minds to send for nectars and soothing lights towards you and all dear Mother Sentient beings. Their mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies beings of yours washes away all the miseries and the cause of miseries from the sentient beings, all sentient beings of yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all the dear Mother Sentient beings. You are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Immeasurable joy. How good would it be that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. May all my dear Mother Sentient beings be never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear Mother sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you make such a courageous commitment, they're intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassionate, omniscient minds to send forth nectars or soothing lights towards you and all ultimate sentient beings. Their mere touch the lights and nectars with bodies beings yours stabilizes the happiness and the causes of happiness the beings are endowed with. And you, witnessing such a miraculous happening towards your ultimate sentient beings, you're intensely happy and proud of you. And this happiness, you feel this joy of seeing the miraculous happenings to all the beings. You feel the joy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Immeasurable equanimity. How good would it be that all my dear Mother sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others, and instead abide in a great state of equanimity, embracing all other dear Mother sentient beings equally, leaving none aside. May all my dear Mother sentient beings be freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others. I will take the responsibility that all my dear Mother sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are so proud of you to see that you are taking such a great responsibility. And this joy and happiness the Buddhas feel invoke the compassionate minds to send forth nectars for soothing lights towards you and ultimate sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the bodies beings yours frees the beings from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others, and making them abide in the state of great equanimity, embracing all other dear sentient beings equally, leaving none aside. And you, witnessing such a miraculous happening towards all the dear sentient beings, you are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Underscoring all the 4 measurables is unconditional love towards all the beings. Just abide in this unconditional love that you experienced. Imagine that you are looking at the eyes of each of the sentient beings with immense love and affection. Abiding in this experience of the unconditional love to all the beings with folded hands, let us make this bodhicitta commitment the most beautiful mind in this universe. Commitment 3 times. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear Mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear Mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear Mother sentient beings. Abide in this most beautiful mind of the bodhicitta. Slowly transform this bodhicitta mind into spotless, clean, white moon disk, 1 inch or 2 inches in diameter, horizontally sitting with the heart. Oh, that's amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. That's amazing. But how do you know that you can become a Buddha? There must be a seed in you. Yes, I have the Buddha nature of the seed perfection within me. Why? How come there is not activity till now? Since time immemorial. Yes, that's true. Till now, I've been deceived by the two demons, self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. And today I'm disillusioned by the two. I'm going to put every effort to exterminate the two demons. How can you do that? By resorting to a very powerful remedy. What is that remedy? The wisdom of emptiness. What is this wisdom of emptiness? Let us quickly retreat the meditation on emptiness, which we did as the third seal of the Buddha's teaching. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. How does this person appear to you? Object real or like a dream? Of course, object real. This belief that this self exists, object real, this is self-grasping ignorance. Okay. Remember what Nagarjuna said. If the mirage were to be water, one not those close to the mirage see water. If the self were to exist objectively, why don't I see the self as I go closer to the object? Okay, now let us go closer to the object by employing the ultimate analysis. We see the 6 elements: element earth, water, fire, air, space, and consciousness. Okay, where do you see, which of the 6 elements is what you see as intrinsically one with the self? No, none of these is to be identified as the self. Okay, if the self still exists, object real, then it must be existing as different, intrinsically different from the 6 elements. Remove the 6 elements, what is left there is different. Nothing is left there as self. Okay, now you have come too close to the object by employing the ultimate analysis. What's the self? None of the 6 elements to be identified as the self, no different from 6 elements to be identified as the self. Nothing is there to be identified as the self. The self simply dissolves in the eyes of the ultimate analysis. Stay in this experience for a while. It doesn't mean that the self doesn't exist. It does exist, but it exists only in the eyes of the conventional analysis, not in the eyes of the ultimate analysis. In the ultimate analysis, it is empty, which means that it doesn't mean that the self is empty or self is non-existent, but the self is empty objectively. Ultimately, the self doesn't exist, or objectively, the self doesn't exist. It is empty as object real. Okay, stay in this experience for a while. Okay, slowly transform this most fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness into a spotlessly clean thumb-sized white vajra, vertically sitting on the multi-skilled heart. Okay, that's so wonderful. You have the moon disk symbolizing the conventional bodhicitta, which is to eradicate self-centered attitude. And the Vajra symbolizing the ultimate bodhicitta, the non-dual wisdom of emptiness of the bodhisattvas. This is to exterminate self-grasping ignorance and all its offshoots along with the subtle stains of the cognitive obscurations. This guarantees that your mental defilements are going to be removed altogether and that your Buddha nature is going to become the full-fledged Buddha. So precious, so amazing. But let us not forget your 2 parents, your children, and all the dear sentient beings. They are suffering. Yes, indeed, with the enormous compassion they feel towards all the dear sentient beings. This compassion invokes the Vajramuni of the heart to multiply infinite number of times. Share one sort of Vajramuni at the heart of your mother. One set with your dad at his heart, one set with each one of your children, one set with each of your the animals, insects, hungry ghosts, everyone here in France, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and in the entire universe. Now all the dear sentient beings have the version moon that you have shared with them. Now I feel so secure, I feel so relaxed, I feel so relieved that all my dear sentient beings, they have something there, version moon, with them as well. Let's not forget that the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are watching us. Why not we invite the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to kindly be the guest and the witness to undertaking the ceremony of taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. So with this, my suggestion requesting them to be the guest and the witness. Along with all the sentient beings, let us slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, on your right knees. English, page 50. Let us wholeheartedly recite the verses with the meanings well reflected. Okay. Keep in mind that all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they're watching us, and your 2 parents, your children, all beings are joining you in taking this aspiration Bodhisattva vow. I go for refuge to Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please behave to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and I shall I too successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please behave to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and I shall I too successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please behave to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and I shall I too successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices. Okay, feel the joy of having received the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. It is so precious, and that this greatest meaning out of one's life. And imagine that the mother, after receiving all these complaints from the school principal over you as her child, as a little daughter or a little son, receiving all the complaints all these many years, and today, imagine, the school principal comes escorted by the other staff to the mother, and again the mother becomes a little nervous, apprehensive again what the daughter and the son must have done something wrong in the school. As school principal, this time is very different. There's so much of this smile and the love and the feeling of admiration in you. And any complaint of my son, the daughter, the school principal says, no way. Your daughter and your son, they're born as the best students of this school for this year. Your mother could not believe her eyes and ears. This is exactly what happens to all the Bodhisattvas today, that you have taken this absolute Bodhisattva vow, in fact, to be very honest, since time immemorial till now. So the fact that we are in samsara is all the indication that we have never done anything of this kind in the past lives. We have only brought, say, the sadness in the minds of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, engaging in negativities all the time. And today, we do something so good, which they, like this mother who couldn't believe her eyes and ears. This is what makes all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas so happy and proud of you. Extremely proud of you to see that not only that you are taking the spiritual Bodhisattva vow, you are visualizing, you are imagining all the dear sentient beings. You are trying to take all the dear sentient beings to do this, the best of the goodness in this world, in this universe, taking the spiritual Bodhisattva vow. So this pride the Bodhisattvas feel today, the way they manage, the mother feels, the pride and the happiness the Bodhisattvas feel, visualize that it invokes the Vajramun in the full-fledged form of the Bodhisattvas to multiply infinite number of times. And like rain shower, they descend to merge Buddha Bandha, visualize into heart, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized and blessed. Likewise, the innumerable replicas of the Vajramun from the house of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, like rain shower, descend to merge Buddha Bandha, visualize in the heart of your mother, but the one there at the heart of your father, at the heart of each one of your children, and all the dear sentient beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, hell beings, god and goddesses, spirits, here in France, in the world, in the entire universe, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. So this is the greatest meaning out of one's life. If somebody would ask what's the greatest meaning, what's the purpose of life, what is the meaning of life, this is the meaning where you do the best of the good things in the universe. And today you extracted this meaning. And this is best of the gift that you can possibly think of giving to all the sentient beings. And today you gifted all the beings with this gift. And this is best of the offerings that you can possibly make to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. And the Buddha very clearly indicated that the offering, the whole world, all the world systems filled with the jewels, diamonds, and so forth, to the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, one moment of generated compassion is the gift which far excels that for all these gems which fill the whole universe. So today you did it, not only compassion, but bodhicitta, include all the Dhamma sentient beings here with you. This greatest offering to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. And this all happens because of the kindness of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So I suggest of thanking them, along with all the Dhamma sentient beings, let us slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, now English page 51. There are some of you leaving today. So this morning practice which we have been doing for the last few days, if you can think of doing something of this kind on a daily basis, it's not necessary that you have to spend like 2 hours. The same thing can be done in half an hour. And in some cases, even 10 minutes, you can do that. Being a little selective of the things and to make sure that you have the Singapore meditation, renunciation, bodhicitta, and wisdom emptiness. So how we did it little in the more elaborately, but you can do it more concisely. So there'll be, in some cases, even 15 minutes also within that you can do that. So, if you're really pressed for time, if you don't have time, then for renunciation, you just recite the four lines. But while reciting it, try to reflect on the meanings, not necessarily in great detail. Just, yes, everything is all-encompassing, is impermanent. Then what is dictated by the self-grasping ignorance, self-centered attitude, is all miseries. Then everything is like a dream. Then if you are able to see everything like a dream, then this is the greatest of the transcendence of sorrow, which gives me the ultimate peace. May I experience this peace on the basis of experience emptiness. Stay in this experience, then you go to the bodhicitta, and when you have more time, you can think about the 4 immeasurables or the bodhicitta 2 methods. Otherwise, you just make commitment. Recite these 3 verses and make a commitment. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. And change it or transform it into this moondisk and quickly think of emptiness. Okay, subject to emptiness. In the ultimate analysis, versus self, the 6 elements, separate from 6 elements, versus the self, is empty from the object. Just stay for a while, even less than a few seconds, less than a minute. Stay in this experience and change it to a Vajra. And share it with your 2 parents and all the sentient beings. Then imagine, invoke the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They have watched the moon to multiply. Descend to you, descend to other beings, and then end with dedication. As simple as that. It'll take less than 15 minutes or 10 minutes. Okay. And when you get time, then you can recite these verses as well. This verse on page 51, it is to connect us to the teaching of the 2 bodhicittas, even in the future lifetimes. Okay. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the 2 precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the 2 precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the 2 precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened the mind of bodhicitta in this way should have been praised in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now one of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind person discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakening mind has been born within me. It's the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death. It's the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It's the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease, is the tree that shelters all beings wandering on the path of conditioned existence, is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth, is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions, is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world, is the quintessential butter from the churn of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in the supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, let us pray. Dedicate the merits that are scattered, that is Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of enjoying happiness on this earth, lives long, and that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously. Also, let us pray that all these great teachers in the big monastery universities, like the Mount Everest, from where all the water, the river, the Dharma flows. And let us pray that their wishes are fulfilled spontaneously and that they live long. And all these learning centers of the different traditions of Sakya, Kaiku, Nyingma, Gelug, and the Theravada tradition, Chinese tradition, Tibetan tradition, they all thrive in the activities of study, reflection, meditation. And may the learning centers as Kalachakra Center and all the centers all over the world of whatever tradition, may they thrive in the activities in helping the local people in the pursuit of the Buddha's teachings, the practice. And may all the beings who died of COVID-19, who died others as well, may they take birth, may they take a favorable birth to meet with the Dharma of the Bodhicitta wisdom and emptiness, and that each one of them become the beacon of light, beacon of hope, beacon of wisdom, beacon of compassion, to lead all beings to Buddhahood. With this in mind, let us say these integration prayers. I dedicate the merits thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path of renunciation, bodhicitta, perfectly in the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that I've amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is blinded by ignorance. Om Gade Gade Paragade Parasamgade Bodhisvahatyatha Om Gade Gade Paragade Parasamgade Bodhisvahatyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvahatyatha